Here's a little something about myself, and this is a true story, not made up things as a joke, but it's a joke, but it's a true story. I got, my son was living with me, Nicholas was the older one, he was living with me. My other two came to visit, and we went to Roy Park, Mitchell and Heidi. So we went to Larry Park, and we went up to where they had the camel rides. They had a one-hump camel, two-hump camel there, and they had a small donkey on the side, and they were letting people take rides on them in this little circular thing. My daughter looks at me, and she goes, and there's a whole bunch of people standing there, and I wait for the rides, and she goes, how come that that camel has one hump, and the other camel has two big humps? I said, well, what it is on over there in Arabia, I said, the young men will be riding around, and they'll get that single hump camel. That's a sports model. And they'll be riding down through town with all the girls, sitting out there with a mask on. And it'll be like, hey, baby, check out my love machine, Mom. And I said, and they'll pick up a wife. And I said, and then after a while, when they start having kids, they'll trade that in. And they'll get that two-hump camel, which is like it's a family van. I said, she'll be driving around taking the kids to the soccer games and things like that with that. And he'll be riding to work with that donkey over there with gas problems. And there's a lady next to my wife, next to my daughter, and she started laughing. And she says, honey, don't pay attention to your son. Man, I'm getting brain dead. Don't pay attention to your dad. She says, you'll be getting something better than a two-hump camel. But it's just one of them things I've done with my kids, many of things. Like one time they came over there for Easter. And it's been a while since we've been to church or anything, with me. And so they come over for Easter, and they said, well, we're going to go to church on Easter Sunday? I said, well, I guess we can before we go out and do something. I said, so we ride around, we're looking for a church. And they said, well, do you know what church it is? I said, well, I'll tell you what, look for a place with crosses in the yard. So we ended up going to a couple of clan meetings. But, it didn't change my kids any. We came back home, we put all the white eggs up in the refrigerator nice and safe, put all the colored eggs out in the yard, and then hunted them down. It's not a little racial joke, but, what the heck. It's done in good humor. But no, me, myself, I've always joked with my kids, always had fun with them, took them out fishing whenever I could. I got my daughter, my son, the oldest son, and my daughter, before my wife decided to take off with some stuff. But anyway, my youngest son didn't really fish with me much because he was real little at the time. But the other two used to go fish with me. They could outfish most grown men for bass. I seen my son one time on one log catch 5 bass. So I'd say anywhere between 3 pounds and 6 pounds. And he caught all those on one log, which I don't know how in the world the bass were all humped up in there, but they were. But I always enjoyed my kids when I could. Then my wife decided to move off 200 some odd miles from, almost to Georgia from here. And so I don't see them as often. Plus now they're older and they're married and everything else. My daughter has a, now 4-year-old granddaughter. Well, again, she'll be 4 years old soon. But it's funny, when she said she was due on August 2nd, I said, well, keep your knees together until August 10th. That's my birthday. I said, keep your knees together until then. And she ended up having a child on August 12th. August 12th. 2 days after. Right between me and my friend, which is a real good friend right here, that's on August 14th. And it's funny how every August we get together, a big pile of us. They're all August kids. And we have a big birthday party thing here on the farm. Even my wife was August 27th. But she wasn't a Leo. She was a Virgo. But we have a big thing on August for all that. As myself, though, I was a contractor. Like I said, this is a little history about myself, in case anybody was curious of what I was about. I was a contractor from the time just before I met my wife, all the way up through to the time where me and my wife split up. I did everything from electrical to plumbing to building the houses complete. You can't hardly drive down any road on Tampa without me saying I built that, did that, put that up. Did Hunter's Green's bridges in there for a man named Dave Hecker. I subcontracted from him with that and did all the Hunters Greens bridges out there in New Tampa. I got video of that still. Well, actually, it's video, but I'd have to change it over because it's on the old tapes. But I've done many different things. Through the time, I've also got known as a outdoor writer, as Bob Angler, and my cartoon was Big Mouth Bob. It was a bass with a hat and sunglasses, and it had Mrs. Bob. It had actually my whole family done up as fish. Yeah, I had a little dog once. Ran out from a lawnmower. I got too close, I cut his tail off. But I had to sell him wholesale because I couldn't retail him. Yeah, I've did outdoor writing stuff as Big Mouth Bob. Actually, it was Big Mouth Bob was my bass. It was a bass, a hat, and sunglasses, a cartoon I did. Bob Angler was my actual pen name. And I did stuff for all kinds of stuff. Cody Bait, Salty Dog. I did stuff for Rippler Lures, which is really cool because Rippler Lures, and it's so cool about him is the owner of that is named Robin Hood. And his mom named him that on a bet, is what he told me. But I used to deal with him. But I got a divorce a long time ago, and it's funny. I went through a lot of stuff, and I just dropped a lot of things. And ended up coming back as a... When I came back, I went back into my art world. And I've been doing art now for about 16 years. And doing it professionally, making a living at it. Had a motorcycle shop where I did airbrush work on the bikes and all, which was so funny because one time I was on a show, and I was telling my son, you know, we had to get some better monitors. So they had these, like, they look like picture frames, but they do little shows of what, you know, your family looks like, or whatever you want to put into it. I did it on the airbrushing that I've done. So people would stop at my stand, they'd look at stuff and see what I do, and it created a lot of business, because what you do is just slip a few of them in there with the body painting I did, nude women. And of course that always makes the guys stop, even the women. The women will actually stop more than the men, and stop and watch the thing, and it showed that I could do the airbrushing on the bikes too. I show one with a bike and a tank, and then how I did this bike, and then how I custom this bike, and also it'd be a body airbrush. I had one of a lady laying down, looks like an alligator eating her, and it actually looked like a gator actually eating a woman, and it was all her. I won an award with that. But anyway, I was telling my son we got to get another one of those monitors. And when I said it, it's funny, you know, you get stuttering on a word sometimes. And I told him I was out there with all those Harleys on the Harley shows, and I said, "Well, Nicholas," I said, "we got to get." And I just did that. And my son looks at me and goes, "Dad, you've been around Harley Davidsons too often." I started laughing at those, thinking, that's the way they sound. Gotta get. But, no, it's just little pieces of history like that. I'll figure I'll put it in here now and then for those that are interesting. If it's boring, please tell me it's boring on the bottom if you like it. Like hearing pieces of history about me a little bit, right on the bottom that you like hearing. Then I'll continue doing this. But I've worn many hats. I'm still a licensed building inspector in this county. I do many other things. I'm an artist. I do anything from wood carving to pictures, airbrush, sculptures. I mean, I think I mentioned stained glass, miniature models. I even done. In fact, even when I was a kid, like I said, this is an art studio out here, so I have some of the things. And here's something I built when I was 17 years old. I even built the tools to do it. A house inside of a bottle. I don't know if you can see the detail on it, but it even has a broom on the side of it there. I got to clean this glass, dang. But like I said, I built this when I was 17 years old. It has a porch and the plants and everything else. And curtains in it, which I made from an old t-shirt. But even the tools I used to make it, I made out of old welding rods and then spun them together at my uncle's place. And started building these things, and I made some good money on them as a kid. Then I got into pinstriping cars, and that's how I got into airbrush and stuff. I started pinstriping and doing custom vehicles. And but I do many different types of things, like even this right behind me here. This is a wire tree that I made, and it's actually made out of aluminum. Next to it's a small one made out of copper right here. Then I got some steampunk work up here I do, but I also do paintings, cartoons, and like I say, I'll put more of my stuff on there to tell you more about me, because I'm one of them people that wear many hats. I'm always got my fingers in 4 or 5 things at one time. I even crochet and knit. I get into that. I made some reggae hats. In fact, I got some over here. I'll show you in just a second. It's funny because I got one here I made for my brother-in-law. It's a standard hat, nothing fancy. It's just bundled up, something he can slip on while he's out there at work. But I got to where I made the knots also uniform. It looks like a darn machine did it. But then I thought, well, I'm going to do some better things. So I did one hat. It actually goes down, has a brim to it, curves out, has 3 different colors to it. Ended up doing that in front of mine. Then I said, well, I'm going to do some more. So then I turned around and made a reggae hat. And I'm even going to put some more dreadlocks on it. But it has a visor on the front, which a friend of mine actually showed me how to do this. She actually put the visor on this. I did the whole hat, but she put the visor on it and showed me how to do it. Now, since then, I made another one of these hats. It's a big saggy hat, what they call a saggy. It hangs down in the back, but it's Jamaican hat all the way. But I'm going to put many more dreadlocks in it, and even put a few white ones on the sides to match the beard. But just something to wear as a gag when I'm out on the sailboats or out on my yacht, because I have a large river boat. I got a 45-foot deck on the top of the water slide. It's a trip. In fact, I might have one of those on the video if we ever get it fixed up, because I have it at a marina right now, but the marina had a really bad accident picking it up out of the water, and actually we got a little over $1 million lawsuit going on that right now. But I turned around, my sister heard that I was doing it, and she goes, well, can you make one for my cat Lily? So I made a miniature reggae hat with little dreadlocks to put on the cat. I thought, well, this would be funny, you know, because the cat will wear this. My sister dresses them up like animals and stuff all the time. But anyway, like I say, if you like this kind of stuff, me telling you a little history about myself, I hope it isn't too boring. If it is, give me a thumbs up. If you like it, say you like it. If you don't, tell me, you know how I could change things about it or whatever. But if you're interested, say y'all liked it, I'll tell you more about myself. Because, like I say, I wear many hats. I do many things. I used to hunt, but now I hunt with a camera. I got tired. I didn't need the meat that bad anymore. I could just buy meat, so why kill the animal? And I got friends of mine that still hunt, so I can still eat deer when I want. So I go out with a camera, and I get a lot of wildlife shots. If y'all would like those, start putting those in here. I'll start videotaping the animals and put them in here too. Because I try to keep the thing comedy, try to make it funny and stuff. But then people have written me and said that they would like to know more about me as a person, and so that's why I'm doing this for you. And you over there, and you need to get dressed. But anyway, speaking about getting dressed, that's like when I did my first seminar one time. I was really nervous, and a friend of mine says, well, do the old-fashioned thing, pretend, the people are in their underwear, and you'd be able to talk easier. And I said, well, I thought about that at first when I first went out, and I got to go out again, because we had a break. I had a 2-hour seminar. First seminar I ever did, 2 hours of showing people how to bass fish. Anyway, I was sitting there and I told him, I said, well, I did all right on that first. I said I was imagining people in underwear, but the only thing is, 2 of the girls up front of the place wasn't wearing any. So anyway, that's, I could tell you different things I've done in my life. I guess I wear many hats, and I've done a lot of things. I've always been self-employed. I never really worked for anyone in my life. I've always worked by myself, for myself. I can't say by myself. I've had crews up to 30-some people. But I just, like I said, I wear many hats, and I can start showing things that I do, things that I'm still doing. I'm even a boat captain. And like I say, I wear many hats. And if anybody are interested in seeing it, I'll put it in. If it's boring, tell me and I'll stop it and I'll go back to the jokes and stuff again. But for the few people that did say that they want to know more about me, there's a little piece for me to you. I'm also single, and I'm always looking for another somebody as crazy as I am. I found a bunch of different women that I'm friends with, but we're just friends, that's all. Because I ain't found anybody as crazy as me to share my life, the rest of my life with. I'm looking for someone like that, but I haven't found them yet. Because I'm a spontaneous person. I love to go out kayaking. I like the woods. I love to go out and do things. And it seems like every time I find somebody, it's their homebodies. They want to just sit at the house all the time. It's like, no. It's like, it's fine. We'll be friends. You can stay there, and I'll call you from out there in the woods when I'm out there hiking or playing around or fishing or doing something. Even here, you never see me in the home that I'm in. You only see me out here when I am in a building. Usually, there's a few of them where I'm in other buildings. But mostly, when I do something inside of a building, it's out here in my art studio. Because I don't care to have everything public about that. But I sit out here in the art studio and do my thing, and this is where I'll do a lot of my vines, too. That, or I'll do them from the woods where I'm out hiking around or moving around, or at the shop that I work at. There's a bunch of them. You'll see where I'm in it looks like a thrift shop, which is kind of like Stephen King's Needful Things. It's a friend of mine's shop, and I help him with it. And because he's getting up there, and so I just help him pick up things, move things, or pick up other ends of the couch when he can't move it, stuff like that. He's a pretty cool guy. He's also a sailor, sailed around the world 3 times. He's a Norwegian, true Viking. And like I say, I'm probably boring the tears out of you, so I'll come back at this later, and we'll do some jokes and things in there. But this is the one about Bob. You know, what about Bob? But like I say, for the people that asked for it, here it is. There's a little bit of me out there for y'all. And if you want to know more about me or what about me, you can ask about that too, and I'll put something in if y'all want to hear it. But I hope I didn't bore you to tears on this one. But like I said, this is for the people that asked about, wanted me to put something personal about myself in here. So there it is. Have a good day. What is a kleptomaniac? That's a person who finds things before you lose them. Nah, I had a friend of mine that was a kleptomaniac, but he's cutting down. He only stole things starting with the letter A. A watch, a car, a television, a thing. He took it all. Oh, and one other thing. Subscribe. On the bottom down there. Subscribe. I'm trying to get, followers, get things rolling on this, and make things, I can improve things. I want to start using more special effects like I was in the beginning, but I kind of slacked off of that. I just bought a whole bunch more programs. I want to start doing special effects again. But remember, subscribe, because I'm like that band called Cake. It's singing that song, I'm building a religion, I'm making it bigger. That's my whole game plan is to try to get this thing big, to where I can start really doing some really fun stuff. I'm going to start traveling with this. I guess I can start vining, but I try not to vine in a car, because I'm one of the very first people to gripe when I see somebody on a telephone, on a car, driving a car, because I've been hitting the tail end twice by women talking on the phone. Fortunately, I was pulling a trailer, and I looked at it and told my son, here we go, bang, right in the back end, and they hit the front of the windshield and everything else, and then trying to act like they didn't even know they hit me. Because I come out, and I'm a big guy. I came out, go alongside the car, roll the window up and just crack it. And he's like, can I help you? I'm like, you just hit me. Oh, did I? I was like, yeah. Normally when you pull up to a stoplight, your head hits the windshield. I said, you hit my trailer, But without going into all these crazy stories, which I lead off a lot. That's why I don't vine in a car, because I'm the first one to fuss it when people are on a phone, in a car, texting, all that crap. I'm the first one to fuss about it, so I'm not about to sit there and vine while I'm driving. So that's one reason you don't see me vining in a car, unless I'm in the passenger side. Then I'll vine like mad and drive the driver crazy. So remember, subscribe on the bottom.